Hello and welcome to another episode of the Empowering Leaders podcast. At Aleda, we are passionate about inspiring connections and creating a world of collaboration. Our signature program, Aleda Connect, curates groups of 5 to 6 leaders from diverse backgrounds in sport, industry, social venture and the arts who come together to learn, to connect and to collaborate.
It's been amazing. Here you are on this Zoom call, feeling within the first session like you intimately know these people and care for them. And then all of a sudden realizing that even though you're in totally different industries, we're all going through the same thing, or we've been through it and we can help each other, or there's just this hurdle that you can't see past. And then you share it with the group and there's 5 answers in 40 minutes and you think, I have not slept for 2 weeks thinking about that. Like, how is this possible?
So you're listening to stories and the breadcrumbs of what makes success, and I constantly get something out of these Zoom calls and catch-ups because we're all living the same stuff, aren't we?
Extraordinary people with extraordinary experience. What happens there is magical.
The Empowering Leaders podcast is proudly brought to you by Victoria University, where cutting-edge sports and exercise science facilities like heat chambers, performance labs, and altitude environments mean VU is ranked 7th in the world for sports science. VU, uniquely you. As always, a big thank you to Jason Nicholas and his team at Temper Bedding, a mattress like no other. If you enjoy listening to the Empowering Leaders podcast, be sure to subscribe, and please, if you have a moment, we would love you to leave a review so we can reach more listeners and empower more leaders. Sami Whitcomb is one of the great stories in world basketball. Her journey is a powerful reminder that there are many pathways to success. She's shown great resilience, humility and courage to go from being an undrafted college graduate to overseas leagues in Germany and Australia to becoming a 2-time WNBA champion and a proud member of the Australian Opals. She's carved out one of the most impressive and unconventional careers in the game. After going undrafted in 2010, she took every opportunity she could find, often far from the spotlight. She dominated the Australian leagues, became a respected leader and forced her way back into the WNBA at the age of 28, where she made an immediate impact with the Seattle Storm. She's since played key roles for the New York Liberty and Phoenix Mercury and continues to perform at the very highest level. Sami is respected everywhere she goes for her professionalism, her competitiveness and her capacity to elevate any team she joins. Her journey shows what is possible when someone refuses to let circumstance define them. Great to see you, Sami.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate that. Good to be here.
Go back to your journey, as I mentioned in the intro, undrafted at college, which I'm assuming was a real setback for you, to a 2-time champion in the WNBA. When you reflect back on it and you hear me read that out, what shaped you the most across that time?
Yeah, I think you kind of spoke to it, but I think just not letting circumstances and maybe lack of opportunity deter me. At the time, it did feel like a big setback, not finding a home in the WNBA out of college, not being drafted. I did have a training camp, but was cut. And then I just sort of felt like, not even felt like I didn't land a job overseas. So that was also disheartening. And it was kind of the first moment in my career, and I've had a lot of them since, where I had to really ask myself, like, just how badly did I want this? How badly was I willing to pursue it? And I think every step of the way that when I've asked myself that question, it's always been a resounding, just I really, really want this. I love this. This is something I'm willing to pursue. And so I think when that's your answer, I was able to just kind of put my head down and do the work and not worry so much about timeline and what that looked like. You said the word unconventional. I'm really proud of that. I'm proud that, I didn't let the fact that it wasn't the most conventional path stop me either. I think that's what's kind of got me where I am now. All of those sort of twists and turns have really molded me, and I'm really grateful for all of them.
So, Sam, even when you go to Germany and Australia and you're a long path, it probably felt like a long way away from the WNBA. When you look back, did that build a resilience that is pretty hard to, I suppose, be anything but resilient now after what you've been through?
Yeah, I think it definitely built my resilience. I think as well, though, it was just necessary in terms of experience that I needed to gain. I learned a lot from the tryout that I had in the WNBA when I was cut that first year. There was a big, gap from where I was to where I needed to be, which sometimes is discouraging. Sometimes it's, we're in denial about it even. But for me, it was a huge wake up call, and it was just this huge opportunity to grow. So when I went to Germany, that was my first, opportunity to kind of close that gap. And then I went to Australia, and that was another level up, another opportunity to close that gap. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think that I would necessarily need 6 years to get my next opportunity, but I was just enjoying it. I got to play basketball, which I loved. I got to meet new people, experience new cultures, travel the world. So I think when I reframed it and my perspective changed, this is an opportunity to grow, to learn. I felt like I was getting better every time. So yeah, it built resilience, but it also was just really, really essential for my growth in order to get back to that sort of level.
Yeah, I love the mindset that you had along the way. A lot of people, it gets too far away from at that stage, but you've gone on to play with some of the best athletes in the world. Are there traits that you've seen and patterns of why those elite gun players are what they are?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, for sure, it's a mindset. It's a mentality. They believe in themselves. They understand what it takes day in and day out. Their professionalism is unmatched. It's, people talk about those 1%ers and those little things. And I think those players view them as the biggest things. So all of the little, taking care of their body, the things that they eat, getting in the gym every single day and working on, their game. They view those as the really big things, not the little things. And so I think that mentality was really important to see for me as well. And it did. It gave me this new perspective and a little bit of an edge, I think, in understanding how to get the most out of myself. But yeah, I would say competitive drive. Being around some of those great players, you just don't meet anybody, I think, in life that's just more determined.
And when you look at your own reputation, it's for being an ultimate professional, incredibly competitive, as you said. Did you see those traits in yourself that have allowed you to go on and have this incredible success story?
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw a little bit of that mirrored back in myself. And honestly, it's probably the only reason I've got where I've gotten. I think I've really just squeezed out every bit of capability that I have. And I'm still trying to do that. And that's kind of been my goal all along, not really to compare myself to other people and what they've been able to do. But I've just been really determined to get the most out of myself, whatever that ceiling and potential is. I really want to reach it and maximize it. So yeah, I think seeing that I feel like I'm as competitive. I feel like I am as driven. I feel like I really care about those little things too. But I think just getting to see it from just that next level maybe, and really what they do that maybe has been a difference maker for them, and being able to add that, I think is definitely added to the longevity of my career.
And Sam, we've seen this great growth in recent years, massive viewership spikes and global attention to the WNBA. How's that been to be part of that?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's someone who's been in the league now for 9 years. I think you think, gosh, it's just so overdue, right? I mean, there's so many players that these new stands and this new coverage isn't even going to know about or see potentially, because maybe they've retired and aren't a part of it anymore. So you hope that they can appreciate those players too, and really what the league was built on, the backs of those players. But in saying that, it's incredibly exciting, this new crop of players, as well as the current players who are still out there, really deserve this light. So it's incredibly cool to just see them uplifted in a new way, and hopefully, an upcoming CBA that really values them as well in a significant financial way.
Sam, we've been really privileged to have you part of our Aleda Connect program, and you've been with a really interesting group of diverse leaders from sport and business and various industries. How have you found that experience?
It's been the best. I mean, we talk about it every time we're on the call, how it's just sort of the highlight of our month. We look forward to it. You always leave the call feeling refreshed, feeling motivated, feeling better about yourself. Everyone's just so positive about each other and encouraging, and says the greatest things. But I think it's about the perspective, right? I think that's so important. Day to day, I probably talk to the same people, and so I'm getting the same. And it's great feedback. Obviously, it's people that I really count on. But I think getting sort of this fresh take, this fresh perspective from people in different, in different sides of business and different parts of the world in life, different parts of and stages of their career in life as well, is really vital. And I just think it's helped so much just kind of come in there and bounce these ideas off of each other. And we have a really special group that's had a really special connection. So it's been really fun.
And Sami, can I ask, when you talk about, you're playing professional sport and managing that with family at home, but you jump on the line in the Aleda group. Have you seen, are there common things that you all face as leaders that have maybe surprised you that you hadn't thought of before?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think, we've talked about even just imposter syndrome as well, like across the different fields. Like some of us, all of us really have that of like, you get to a certain level and you feel, gosh, do I belong here? Like, am I good enough to be here? And I think, we have people all ages, like I said, all different fields. And to just know that everybody has a little bit of that sort of self-doubt sometimes, I think was, you don't want anyone else to experience that, but it is humbling to know that it's not just you, everyone's experiencing that. So sharing in that was really great. And then I think just understanding that everyone deals with the same sort of conflict and conflict resolution issues, I think across the board too. And then a lot of the group, had family or has family or is dealing with balancing the family dynamics as well, which for me was really important because, I do struggle with that, feeling like I'm not being a good enough mom sometimes, being, just handling that balancing act. So dealing with other people who are in similar situations was just brings a level of comfort, I think, and support.
Sami, you mentioned that balancing act as a mum of two and the pursuit of being an elite athlete and doing it as well as you have, as successfully as you have. What's the advice you give around trying to get that balance right and still fulfill the personal ambitions that you've got?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably like threefold. I think, first of all, you have to have the support. You have to have the village. So I think really make sure that you've got that sort of foundation. I lean on my family. I lean on my wife a lot. I know we've really had to lean on other people as well, because when I'm away, she's being a single mom basically, and it's really hard. So I think having that set up, that foundation, that village is really important. And then I think, the other really big side of it that I've learned since having kids is the balance part. Like you can't balance it if you don't have balance. And I guess I say that to say, like, you have to be able to step away from the sport as well. You have to be able, when you're not training, when you're not in that mode and you're home with your family or you're away or whatever it is, to really flip that switch and be with them and be present. I think I really used to struggle with the being present. I was really consumed by basketball and that was my identity. And I think, that serves its purpose for a while in life perhaps. But I think where I really thrived in the later part of my career, I think has really been just leaning into that balance. And making sure that when I'm with my boys and when I'm with my family, I'm there. I'm not thinking about basketball. And that's really allowed me, I think, to be more present with the basketball too, and to give everything that I have and feel really just like my cup is full when I go back to basketball. And that's been really important for me with, burnout and just feeling overwhelmed and all of that. So I think that's been really important too. So I think those, maybe it's only twofold. I feel like those are really the two things that really stick out for me with that balance.
We all are born different. As we grow, the experiences we have develop into outlooks uniquely our own, charting our life's course. No one sees an idea, opinion, or opportunity like you. And no one sees you like VU. Victoria University. Uniquely you.
At Aleda, our signature program, Aleda Connect, is something we're really passionate and proud of. We bring together groups of 5 to 6 people around the globe from diverse backgrounds, sport, industry, social venture and the arts, who come together to learn, to connect and to collaborate.
The thing that I've loved about it is not just the meetings that we have with our group, it's the thinking that you do for days and days afterwards. Someone says something and it sparks a thought, and I found that I would go back and look at things that I was doing in a different light. Within my sport and within women's sport, I'm just someone who I try to lead by keeping people talking about the issues. There's times when I think the person I'm trying to convince is not listening to me. It actually got me thinking about, okay, this is how I need to address my communication with them. So it was so valuable, and the little group that we've got is great, and I'm really looking forward to sort of continuing to connect with them into the future because we're all so very different. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it.
You've played under many different coaches and leadership styles. What does great leadership look like from your perspective?
Yeah, I really have. I've been really fortunate to play alongside some players and captains that have been really incredible, and as well as coaches. But to me, the thing that sticks out the most is sort of the collaboration part. For me, it's not, when I think of the great leaders, yes, they have a lot of power and influence, but what's made them special is that they don't assert that. They really share it. They want people to feel heard and feel valued. And so it is very collaborative in that way. They want to know what you think. They want you to feel like you have a voice. And I think that can be extended to coaches as well. Obviously, the coaches have to make tough calls, and they're the ones that are at the end of the day, in charge, so to speak. But I think the same way that leaders and captains can be collaborative, I think coaches can too. Just, in saying, I know you're the ones out there. I know you guys have a feel of what's going on. Like, how can we make this work? And I think communication is just huge. And I think that doesn't always get valued enough. So communication for me and really just investing in the relationships has really gone a long way from my experience with the Opals, where that has been the top of my experience in terms of the best leadership I've been around, the best collaborators, the best communicators. That's really been what stood out for me.
So you mentioned having your cup full and doing that through family. We see that as this vital thing to be able to have the impact you want. You've got to be able to look after yourself first. What are the things you do to allow you to feel at your best so you can be at your best?
Yeah, I mean, number one, when I'm with my family, it's being with my family. Unfortunately, I'm not always able to be with them. But yeah, we love going to the beach and being outside. We're very outdoorsy. So I think doing those things are amazing. When I'm not with them, I love coffee. I love reading. So no matter where I'm in the world, I am going to explore and find a good coffee spot, something that is up to my snobby standards. Perth and Australia have definitely made me a coffee snob. So yeah, I'm always trying to explore, really experience the part of the world that I'm in, wherever that is. Really grateful for every opportunity that I have. So I think really trying to maximize that and appreciate that I probably would never live and experience some of these cultures if I wasn't playing basketball. So doing that, like I said, I love reading. I love playing games. So I'm always trying to drag my teammates and people into playing Phase 10 and Bananagrams and Uno and just anything like that. Those are probably the things that I really, really just enjoy the most.
We've become a bit obsessed with our coffee in Australia, Sami. I can see
Yes.
you've picked up on that. What's one thing that's worked for you as a leader that you would never change?
Oh gosh. I think caring, honestly. I think it can be hard sometimes because, you feel like you have to, balance this act of like worrying about yourself, obviously, and your own performance and being able to do that. But caring about other people and pouring into them, and you don't want to, you feel like you don't want to pour too much so that you're pouring from an empty cup. So it is this balancing act. But I think it's cool to care and it's okay to care. And I think sometimes we think that, they'll handle it themselves or they'll figure it out themselves. But for me, a real leader really pours into their teammates, pours into the culture around them. And I think for me, it can be draining sometimes, and you do have to find that balance. But I have seen the best of the best do that. And it's something that I have tried to do more of in my career, but I think it also comes naturally for me. But I think just that investment in players, that investment in the people that you're with every single day, I think is really, really important. And like I said, sometimes it can be difficult, but I think just that authentic sort of pouring into other people.
Yeah, it's a real pattern, that authentic care for people, and you see the sustained success through that genuine care for others in your environment. It's not a surprise to hear you reference that. Has there been someone that's been a visionary leader in your life that you've felt compelled to follow the way they've gone about things?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been fortunate to be around a lot, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Tess Madgen. She's been our Opals captain, teammate at the Paris Olympics, and we won bronze. And she's just probably been the biggest part. Sandy mentioned it recently in an interview that the best thing she ever did was name Tess Madgen Opals captain. And the thing about Madgen is, even if she wasn't named captain, she would have done the things that she did that were really, really critical to us getting back on the podium, but to I think just like changing the culture, and it really needed that refresh. It really needed that sort of change in direction, and she was just the biggest catalyst in that, quite frankly. The way that when I speak about, pouring into people and investing in people, caring about the culture, I mean, that started really with her and Sandy, and Madge just led the way every single day. I've just never seen someone really pour into people and a culture and an environment the way that she did. Yeah, I'm just really, really grateful to have been her teammate.
I love hearing that story. Lucky enough to record an interview with Tess, and had a great impact on so many people. It's not surprising again to hear you mention that. Curiosity is a real pattern we see. People who are as successful as you are inherently curious. Do you carve out time to pursue that curiosity?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, like I said, I love reading. I'm currently doing an internship with Seven Consulting, which is one of the Opals naming rights sponsor, which is really cool. And that just kind of gives me this other outlet. And like I said, I think the greatest way I'm able to sort of scratch that curiosity itch, I think when I'm overseas, is just exploring and learning about where I'm at, and seeing new places, and just getting to like sort of really immerse myself in the culture. It's the same way, I think, with the people, my teammates and stuff. I think I'm curious about what got them there, and what their life has been like, and what's made them them. So I think you can sort of be curious in a lot of different ways. And so I think those have been the ways I've been able to, through my career, really kind of explore that curiosity.
Sami, I heard you mention about the communication being everything in the world that you live in team sport, and you can tell you're an incredible communicator. Have you thought about a mantra about the way that you communicate in the excellence in your field?
Oh, I mean, I probably haven't thought about it in a way that's going to make me sound super articulate at the moment. But I just think the thing that always strikes me about communication and about being a leader is authenticity. I just think you can't do it from a place that isn't genuine, that isn't authentic to who you are. I think the moment that I've tried to maybe be somebody, emulate somebody, but in a way that isn't true to me, I think it just comes across false, because it is. So I think, I want to be like Tess Madgen, of course, because she is just the greatest leader, but I can't just do everything she's done if it's not me. I have to do it in a way that is real and authentic to me. So I think, I'm always pulling from these people, but still trying to do it in a way that is real, is Sami, is not these people, because ultimately I think people see that. I think they see when you're not being yourselves. So that would be my greatest advice when it comes to that. Like, I think it's amazing when we're able to learn from the best leaders, but always be true to yourself.
I love it, Sami. Who's been the greatest leader in your life?
Oh, gosh. I think, I don't want to be too repetitive. I think the greatest leader that I've seen hands down was Sue Bird. Seeing Sue do the things that she did on court in basketball, and forgive me if you mean not in basketball, if you mean outside of basketball. But I think the basketball side of it is 100% Sue Bird. I mean, I just think the way that she did things at such an elite level herself, and then the way that she was able to pull us all together from top to bottom. I mean, I was the 10th, 11th, 12th person on the teams that won championships, but she made me feel like I was the most important person at times. The way that she could pull me in and really explain to me my value on the team. But then when I stepped on the court, utilize that value, like she would include me in stuff straight away. And off the court as well. It's not just the on the court stuff, but I think she was the greatest leader I've been around in terms of, basketball and in my professional life. And in terms of, away from that, I would say my wife is the best leader that I know, because the way that she is able to balance everything from being, a partner, a mom, she's working again. I think it's incredible what she's able to do. And she just does it in such a graceful way. And I think that that's really incredible too.
No, thanks, Sami. I love asking that question. It's nice to call out those people in your life that have had that impact on you. We're a bit obsessed with this idea of collaboration. We see it in the Aleda world, where the sum of the parts of people together often sparks something that's really special. Is there a person or someone in, whether it's your basketball world or your other passions, that you've thought, God, I'd love to collaborate with that person? Is there a name that springs to mind?
That's a great question. I don't know. I feel like I've been so lucky to have had some of the opportunities that I've had. Like, I never would have dreamed of getting to collaborate with, work with, play with LJ. And I got to do that. And she would have been someone that I would have always loved to have. This past year in the WNBA, I'd always wanted to play alongside Alyssa Thomas, and I got to do that in the WNBA. I don't know. I think I'm really excited about the next chapter of my life and what that will look like, and getting to, I think that's where that answer will come from. Honestly, I think in basketball, there's always people you want to play with. There's always people that you're excited about, doing those things with. And I do still have excitement around that. I don't know that I could pick one person right now, but I think in the next chapter of my life and getting to explore that, I think there's going to be a number of people along the way that I'm going to really want to collaborate with once I've stepped away from basketball. And I think that's really exciting for me, that I'm in a phase of my life where I'm kind of thinking about those things and imagining what that's going to look like.
Sami, I've loved hearing more detail around your story, and it's a great lesson that it doesn't always be linear success, that you had to go to different parts of the world. I love that you just said the joy of just playing, and that was as much fun getting back to where you probably wanted to get to when you were straight out of college. So I appreciate you sharing it. It's a great message for a lot of people who are on the pathway as well. And we're really proud to have you in our Aleda community. I appreciate you joining me. It's been nice to spend the time with you.
Thank you. It's been great. Thanks, Luke.